Welcome to the next lecture on value proposition, construction, development and validation. In social innovation, value proposition is very important. What is the benefit for every stakeholder if we could explain it properly, and what is that he gains, then it makes it much more reliable model. Value proposition for social innovation is a concise statement is communicating unique benefits. So, what are the benefits do you communicate? You try to say the benefits and value that the innovation offers. The communicating unique benefits has to be done very clearly, then articulating the purpose and impact. So, here it is nothing but allow stakeholders to understand and engage. This is articulating purpose and impact is allow stakeholders to understand and engage, and the third thing is going to be attracting stakeholders and resources. So, here it will be highlight, what you have to do is you have to highlight the benefit and value of the social innovation has to be there. Okay. So, the communication unique benefit, articulating purpose and impact, and attracting stakeholders and resources are the concise statement for value proposition in social innovation. This is very important. If you cannot define the unique benefit, then innovation cannot happen. Why innovation cannot happen? Innovation always demands that there has to be a customer for your solution. Now, the customer, if he does not put his needs, he will never put it straightforward. You have to understand what is his need, both by interview, by research, by looking at him without talking to him, looking at the scenario, all these things. What you do is you try to figure out what is his need and then convert the need into a unique benefit. Then starts the journey for innovation. So, the process of developing value propositions include research and understanding. Research and understanding is, research is you try to research the market, you try to look at the target stakeholders, you look at the existing solutions, and you also look at the gaps. So, this will try to explain in the research part. You do market research, you do target stakeholders, you do existing solutions and gap, you understand them. Then what you do is you define the problem. So, in the definition of the problem, you will try to define its cause and boundaries. You can never make a solution for a open ended or a open boundary problem. So, you can never do it. your solution always should be confined or constrained to a set of people. Okay. Its cause, definition of the problem is the social problem, its cause and boundaries will be defined in the problem. When we talk about ideation and conceptualization, here we try to talk about potential solutions, and you also talk about different approach and technique. See, when I was recently reading a newspaper, there was an article which said that henceforth the telegram is stopped. So, telegram is one thing which always used to be our lifeline. When there is happiness, when there is a joy, when there is a sorrow, we always look for a telegram to come. So, I still remember those days when I passed my 10th standard, there used to be a telegram from my school saying that you have passed 10th. Then comes the newspaper and other things subsequently. So, now what I am trying to tell you is, if we still talk about a telegram technology, nobody will accept it. So, here what you do is you have to look at possible solutions to the existing problem and use technology for it. So, different approach and techniques have to be brought into your hands. The fourth one is value creation and differentiation. This is very, very important. What is the value you are going to add to a customer where his unmet needs are there? By buying your solution, he gets a benefit. So, value creation and differentiation. If I can do, why not he? Or if he has done it, what is the difference between my product and his product? The differentiation is very important. If you try to mimic and copy the same, it is not going to be accepted and the social innovation is not going to be successful. So, you should look for solutions, and the moment you see a very good solution, you should try to take the solution, do reverse engineering and then do mass customization, such that your product can be very successful. Value creation is clear value proposition statement. So, value creation is you have to write a value proposition statement and communicate unique benefits and differentiation or differentiation you have to do. How is it different from others? If I can teach and you can teach, how are you rated as a good teacher? If I can invent, you can invent, how are you said you are a very good innovator? So, the differentiation is very important, and so the validation. So, validation is gathering feedback from the customer. You are also trying to reiterate and refine is nothing but validation. You are trying to gather information, you are trying to iterate and refine is your this thing. And finally, when you are trying to evaluation, validation is one, evaluation is next. Evaluation is assess and refine the value proposition. This is assess. So, you can see here. So, there are 6 stages which are part of value proposition. First is research and understanding, next is definition of the problem, the third one is ideation and conceptualization, fourth one is value creation, fifth one is validation, sixth one is evaluation. So, all 6 are very important steps as part of value proposition: research, understanding, defining the problem, ideation, value creation, validation. Validation is make prototypes and reiterate on and off so that you try to get the best one. Evaluation is after you have done it, you are released it into the market and then you are trying to do it, is assess and refine the value proposition. So, validating a value proposition, market research is done by survey, interview and focused group. You try to do a market research on this. User feedback is basically again it is done through a survey and it is product testing. You get a user feedback. Prototype testing is it is make a prototype, it can be physical or virtual, or make a minimum viable prototype or a product MVP. So, then iterative refinement is adjusting to the value proposition. So, it is basically adjusting of value propositions. Value proposition based on the insight, feedback, whatever it is. Then what we do is after iterative refinement, we try to establish a metric and KPIs, right. KPIs so that we can track and evaluate. The metrics will always, why is that? Suppose you say that you have to this here is 50 grams, it has to be achieved. So, then you try to put your thing, I have 60 grams achieved. So, now you try to say I am 50 grams more than whatever is required in the product. So, that is track and evaluate the performance of the value proposition. Next is market acceptance, it is how the product is getting accepted in the market, and the next one is release of next version for the same product, so that you can attract more customers. So, here are the validation of value proposition, which is doing by market survey, user feedback, prototype testing, iterative refinement, then you have metrics and KPIs, then it is market acceptance, and the last one is continuous improvement. So, you can see all the 7 are very important for validation. The earlier step was we were trying to do what is value proposition, and in this step we are trying to talk about validation. How do you validate your value proposition? The value proposition in social innovation is a critical component of any social innovation, value proposition. Well defined value proposition will help the innovation to attract resources to succeed as well as measure its impact. Attract resources to succeed, sharing of resources, collaborative work, that is what we are trying to say. A well defined value proposition will help the innovation to attract resources to succeed and measure its impact. There are several examples which we have already seen. Kiva is it provides access to capital, to entrepreneurship, to entrepreneurs, capital to entrepreneurs in developing countries to create job and improvement of their community. That is Kiva. What is Acumen Fund? Acumen Fund, it provides capital and expertise to businesses that are that are creating social and economic value to scale and grow. The difference between acumen fund and this is it gives only capital, it gives you capital and expertise. These are all the value proposition whatever it is. Then let us talk about water aid. The water aid provides clean water and sanitation to people in developing countries. So, look at the value proposition which are very clearly defined. I will give you capital, and expertise, use it for the betterment. Then they will say use this water main is provide clean water and sanitation for developing countries. These are some of the social innovations and their value propositions you have to think of. So, when we try to think of the value propositions, be very careful and clear and then identify uniqueness in the value proposition. Okay. The key elements of value proposition: customer need, pain point and goals. If you want to see that in detail, the customer need and pain point goals, the essential steps in involving a compelling value proposition are understanding the customer need here to address specific pain points and customer requirement. Identifying pain points is it helps tailor the value proposition. Then recognizing the customer goal, it helps in aligning the value proposition with customer goal. Okay. So, essential steps in developing compelling value propositions are understanding the customer need, identifying the pain points and recognizing the customer goal. So, when we keep the value proposition relevant requirements, continuous market analysis is very important, so that we stay updated on evolving customer needs and trends. This is very important. Continuously you have to look into the market and update. The next one is competitor and industrial monitoring. It is to identify emerging customer demand, be informed about the novel innovation, trends and regulations. All these things are competitor and industrial monitoring. Adaptability is to change to meet the changing customer needs and stay ahead of the competition. That is very important, adaptability. So, these are the value proposition relevant requirements. You have to continuously understand the market, you have to always be ahead of your competitor and you have to adapt such that you are always above all the competitions. When we talk about solutions, the important of developing a solution that meets the customer needs are: customer lifeblood of businesses has to be done. Then for customer to be successful can be done through market research, customer survey and other forms of customer feedback. This in turn results in brand loyalty. Customer satisfaction to attract new customers and retain old customers. Okay. So, this is very important. Other forms, this in turn, whatever the solution, this in turn results in brand loyalty, customer satisfaction to attract new customers and retain old customers. When we talk about unique selling point, USPs, it explains what makes a product service unique and why it should be chosen over the others. So, here it basically it lands down in innovation, it looks into quality, it looks into functionality, it looks into customer experience, etc. Okay. So, innovation, equality, functionality and customer experience, etc. Highlighting USPs to show key advantages over the competitor and emphasizing unique features. Unique features, that is superior performance, cost effectiveness, or it can talk about exceptional customer service. So, USP is like this. So, highlighting USP will be to show key advantages over the competitors and emphasize unique features, that is superior performance, cost effectiveness or exceptional customer service. What is value proposition statement? Importance of a very clear value proposition statement should be capitative audience. Capitative audience is by communicating the USP of the product offered, product or service offered, right. Next is differentiate from competitors is highlight specific benefits and advantage. Okay. So, that is the importance of clear value proposition statements. Then the characteristics of an effective value proposition: clear and concise, this is short and easy to understand USPs you have to put. The next one is compelling and persuasive. It is highlighting some of the specific benefits and advantages, and unique and memorable is distinctive and memorable. The last one is customer centric. So, it is focused on target audience. Okay. So, this is the value proposition statements. It has to be capitative audience, it has to differentiate from the competitor. So, this has to be there. Then the characteristics should be clear and concise. Next is compelling and persuasive, then unique and memorable, then customer centric. So, all these things are very much used to effectively communicate the value proposition statements. So, when we try to look at value proposition communication, it is vital for differentiating your offering, building trust with customers and influencing their purchasing decision. So, building trust with the customers and influencing the purchasing decision. This is done by the value proposition communication. It is vital for differentiating. Okay. The importance of communicating value proposition are clear differentiators will be how the product or the service stands out from its competitors. Okay. Building trust and credibility, it is clearly articulating the unique benefit and value you are offering. Then value proposition is going to be increasing customers' willingness to pay and reduce price sensitivity. Okay. So, clear differentiation should be how this product is different from others. Building trust and credibility is going to be articulating the unique benefits, and value perception is going to be customer willingness to pay and reduce price sensitivity. So, that means to say, if you give a wonderful product, people are not going to be much bothered about the sensitivity of the product. So, that has to be the value proposition. So, the channel for communicating the value proposition is going to be through websites, presentation, events, social media and marketing material. So, this is how a value proposition can be communicated. So, value proposition and a business growth. A strong value proposition can help a business grow in a number of ways. A strong value proposition can help to grow the business. This is very important. If the value proposition is good, the business grows. It attracts new customers by highlighting the benefits of the product and the service. Right. It retains existing customers by showing them how the product or service can help them achieve their goal. It increases sales by convincing customers to buy their products or services. So, this is how you try to keep a strong value proposition such that your business can grow. You attract new fellow, you retain the existing fellow and you increase the sale. Okay. So, this is important. For example, a business that sells software could highlight the benefits the customer gets through this software. Then when we try to retain the customer, a business that tries to sell products and helps business save time, right, and show how these products can improve their productivity, then the second point is taken care. The third one is going to be help business to improve the customer service that could show them how products can be helpful to other businesses to improve the customer services. To summarize this chapter or this lecture, a value proposition is a statement that explains what makes your product unique and why customer should choose it over the competitor. So, two words which are very important: what and why. The next is the strong value proposition can help you to attract new customers, retain existing customers and increase in sale. There are a number of ways to create strong value proposition, which include focus on the customer and their need, be specific and measurable, be clear and concise, be believable. So, this is very important. So, these are the strong value propositions. These are strong ways to create value propositions. So, the assignment for this lecture assignment is assume that you are a tutor for a course. The students have to pick you from a lot of 10 students. What will be your value propositions? Because if you are good, if more students join with you, your incentive is inversely or is directly proportional to your number of crowd whatever you have. So, that is why you would like to attract more and more students. So, the assignment is you assume that you are a tutor for any course whichever you like, let it be English, Maths, Hindi, Sanskrit, whatever it is. And now there are 10 students, you should allow the freshman who comes inside to pick you and attend to you. What will be your value proposition and how do you do that? So, this material is taken from the book Louis Portelis, Social Innovation and Social Entrepreneurship. Thank you.